Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. So Gervonta Tank Davis drops Yuriorkis Gamboa 3 times and knocks him out in the 12th round to win the WBA regular lightweight title. Now, going into this fight, it was seen as a mismatch, which I agreed with. Nobody really doubted the result of this fight going into it. Pretty much everybody was picking Tank Davis by knockout. And that's what happened, but I've got to say, I was left a little underwhelmed by this performance from Tank Davis. I was expecting him to do this job in quicker and much better fashion. I was just left, feeling underwhelmed with this performance from Tank Davis. Ultimately, Yuriorkis Gamboa, 38 years old, he's seen better days, he's way past his best, fighting in a weight class where he doesn't really belong. And yeah, I was expecting him to be a lamb to the slaughterhouse. And while he did get knocked out, while he did get stopped, he lasted a lot longer than I expected. And I think that's a bad reflection on Tank Davis. It's not like Yuriorkis Gamboa found a time machine, wound back the clock, and put on a good performance. No, he was fighting injured. He looked like an old fighter. And, Tank Davis still couldn't get this guy out of there in quick fashion. I was left really disappointed with this performance, I've got to say. I was expecting a lot more. Tank Davis, he dropped Gamboa in the 2nd, 8th and 12th round. The 12th round was where it ended. But, he pretty much won every round, don't get it twisted. It was a workmanlike performance. But, with the hype Tank Davis gets, I was just expecting a lot more. And, I've mentioned in the past, yes, Gervonta Davis is a good talent. Yes, he's got explosive power, he's fairly athletic, he's got quick hands, things like that. He does have good attributes, but one aspect of Tank Davis's game I'm not impressed with is his footwork, and I think we saw that in this fight. When Gamboa was being a bit more negative, Tank Davis would miss quite badly, throwing single shots, throwing himself off balance and leaving himself open. Now the injured shot Gamboa couldn't take advantage, but when Tank Davis does step up against a guy who can take advantage of these errors, then he could be in trouble. I mean, seriously, do you think Gamboa would have gone 12 rounds with, let's say, Teofimo Lopez? Really? I don't think he would have. I think this was a poor performance from Tank Davis, and again, I was expecting a lot better. I really was. Gamboa, he's been looking terrible recently. He got a gift decision against Jason Sosa. He got beat up by Robinson Castellanos. So don't let anybody fool you in saying that this was a good Gamboa. It wasn't. He was shot. He was injured. He's fighting in a weight class he doesn't really belong. And Tank Davis didn't really impress me at all, if I'm being honest. Like I said, he got the job done, but I was expecting a lot more. And, going forwards, it's going to be interesting to see where Gervonta Davis goes from here. Who's he going to fight next? Will the selective matchmaking continue? I believe so, if I'm being honest. I mean, I've heard rumours of Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz next. Now, while that's a big fight in terms of name value, both guys are fairly big names, I don't really believe it's a good fight, if I'm being honest. And I'll tell you why. Leo Santa Cruz has just moved up to super featherweight from featherweight, and in his first fight at super feather, he looked absolutely terrible against a subpar opponent in Miguel Flores. Flores was ranked like 100 and something on BoxRec. That's how unknown the opponent was. And Leo Santa Cruz looked terrible. So to drag him up another weight class after that performance, for me, would be a cherry pick. I'm not really interested in Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. I want to see Tank fight the other elite lightweights. I know he was talking about Lomachenko in the post-fight press conference. I'll believe it when I see it. He's avoided that fight for so long. You've got to convince me now. Your words don't do it. You need to fight somebody. You need to fight somebody worth a damn. Why not fight Devin Haney, fellow young American fighter? Now that would be a great fight, a really good fight. And I'll tell you what, based on Tank Davis's performance against Gamboa, I think Devin Haney gives Tank Davis the world of problems with his movement, with his height and reach. I really believe Devin Haney could beat Tank Davis, to be quite honest, stylistically. I think Devin is a really hard style for Tank, you know. Even if Tank fought somebody like Ryan Garcia, that'd be a decent fight, you know. Ryan Garcia is young, he's big for the weight class, he can punch, and he's got ambition. You know, he's actually a lightweight. I would like to see Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. Good fight. So there are fights out there for Tank, but I don't think he's going to fight any of these guys. I think he's going to try and fight Leo Santa Cruz. And some people out there will try and polish that turd, but it's not a good fight. I don't care what anybody says. Tank Davis needs to step up. It's that simple. He's done absolutely nothing since he beat Pedraza in 2017. Now, while that was a great performance, he's done nothing since. So 2020, I want to see something from Tank Davis. He needs to show me something. He needs to get a top win or two in 2020, but I've got a feeling we're going to be waiting a little while longer before we get that. We'll see what happens with Tank. As for Gamboa, he showed some good heart, fighting with an injury. He got dropped a few times, kept on getting up. Fair play to Gamboa for showing some heart. He landed a few good shots here and there, but he's a shadow of what he once was. He really is. He's way past his best. He should really retire now. He's got nothing left to offer at the top level, in my opinion. And I used to really like Gamboa on the come-up. He was a gunslinger, he could punch, he was vulnerable. He was a really good watch, but his day is done, and it's been done for quite some time. So, you know, Yuriorkis Gamboa needs to retire. Tank Davis needs to fight somebody. Not really going to talk too much about the fight because it was what it was anyway. Share your thoughts below. Peace.